Welcome back to the Sports Betting Edge podcast, brought to you by OddsJam.com, home to the number one tools in sports betting to make you a more profitable sports bettor in the long run. I am your host, Anthony Servino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam. We can be found at all of the top social media and podcast platforms. And don't forget, if you're listening right now on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the alert icon so you could be notified anytime OddsJam drops new content, and hit the like button if you heard anything you like today, because all of it helps us grow and reach more of you. Let's get into this Thursday night game tonight between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. And as usual, I'm going to use the tools at OddsJam, and I'm going to go to the odds page, and I'm going to go to football, and we're going to find this game. And there's only two games on the slate: one college, Pittsburgh, North Carolina, and of course the NFL game, which we are going to talk about. And the best bet that I like is going to be on the point spread. And, in this top area here, you can find all of the wagers that you can place on this game, going from the spread, first field goal made, anytime touchdown score, receptions. If you can bet it 9 times out of 10, you can find it at OddsJam. And we are going to show you the best possible place to make this bet at the best possible odds. So the main line, as we can see, is -7.5. I like the Ravens to cover this, but am I comfortable making it? That's another story. I'd actually rather go down to Baltimore at -7. And as you can see, you take a little bit of a hit in odds, but I feel more comfortable taking it at 7 than 7.5. Baltimore's kind of been weird. They're a superior team in this league, but, in years past, they can win one way, which is dominate the football game, control the clock, run the ball, play good defense. This year, all the questions about if Lamar Jackson can win from behind have been answered, because it's happened a lot. And a lot of it is because the Ravens defense, especially early on, wasn't as advertised like in years past. So I'm going to take the Ravens here, -118 odds, -7 over at Sugarhouse. And of course, Sugarhouse, Twin Spires, Unibet, and Barstool, they all have the same odds. So whatever book you have access to of these four, and of course, check in your state. I'm in New Jersey. I'm sure you can find similar odds, but Ravens -7 at -118 odds over at Sugarhouse. That's the bet I am going to be placing on this one. Next, we're going to go to the positive EV page, and we're going to see some value bets for tonight's game. At the top, if you hit the percentage button, you're going to see the highest percentage returns, for the day, and it goes, all the way down to tomorrow, all the way into Sunday. But I'm going to go in order by date, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to find this Thursday night football game, and it's, of course, at 8:21. And the first EV bet available, Salvon Ahmed, over 16.5 rushing yards. You see the yards total, and it's obviously low. And Salvon Ahmed has been getting a little bit more run with Malcolm Brown on the injured reserve list. But Gaskin, it's his backfield, and they're not really the most effective running team in the league anyway, one of the league's worst offensive lines. But you can run on Baltimore a little bit, but if the Dolphins are playing from behind, which is the expectation, how much running are we going to see? Now, last week, really in the past 2 weeks, Salvon Ahmed played 16 and 13 offensive snaps respectively. Only 4 attempts for 6 yards, but the 3 games prior to last week against Houston, he saw 7 carries in all 3 and over 22 yards in all 3. I'm going to fade this line. I don't trust it. I think it's too close. It can go either way because Myles Gaskin has been the player who has been getting the run. Now, there also is a Salvon Ahmed reception total. He didn't even get a target last week. And then this season, he had his, fair share of games with 2 receptions, but he's also blanked. He's also given you 1, so I don't trust this one either. Here's one that I do trust. The value bet here for Marquise Brown, under 63 and a half yards, 3.33% plus EV bet. This is another one I don't like. And, just because they're expected value bets doesn't mean you have to take them. It's a player prop. They're kind of wacky anyway. In prime time, Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown are absolutely fire. So what I would do here, and what I did do here, you're going to click on this tab. And you're going to go and you're going to see all of the available markets for Marquise Brown's receiving yard total. And as you can see, it goes all the way down to, you can go, to 24 and a half at catastrophic odds. Obviously, we're not doing that. If you want to play it safe, you can go over 59 and a half at FanDuel alternate receiving yards at minus 114 if you want to play it safe. But like I said, Hollywood Brown normally plays outstanding. So you can bump it up a little bit. Like, he's going to go over. It's just a matter of what's the total. Hollywood Brown this season really having a breakout year, and it started at the tail end of last season when we really saw the breakout from Marquise Brown. Let's kick it back to this year, and Marquise Brown has gone over. If we're going to look at, let's say, 60, let's look at the 63 and a half to go over, and the OddsJam perfect line, which comes from Pinnacle, sharpest sports book in the world, minus 113 for him to go over, minus 117 to go under. If you do like him to go under, plus 105 at Caesars, by all means, take it. I just don't buy into it. I think this is going to be another big game for Marquise Brown. You can get the over at minus, this is why the tools at OddsJam is so powerful. Over 62 and a half, minus 135, minus 115. Over 63 and a half, minus 135, minus 115. You could actually get the over at better odds at 59 and a half at FanDuel at minus 114. You can go up to 60 and a half at FanDuel at minus 110. I would take either one of those, whether it's 59 and a half or 60 and a half. This season alone, Marquise Brown has gone over 59 and a half or 60 and a half total yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 6 times he's gone under that total. 1, 2, looks like 2 times. Yeah, so I mean, this is about as a lock as it can go. I'm all in on Marquise Brown, and Miami, they have a lot of high-priced defensive backs. They haven't been playing up to par. They're giving up, if we're talking in terms of fantasy production allowed, and, you could compare fantasy production and props and do your projections that way, which is something that I do. Right now, I'm the 11th most accurate expert in the Fantasy Pros ECR in terms of ranking, so, I kind of know what I'm doing. The Dolphins are giving up the 3rd most, fantasy points to the wide receiver position. So I'm in on Marquise Brown. Another one I am in on, if we're going to stay at receiving yards, and this is like a by default type of thing, and it's Jaylen Waddle. And let's go find Jaylen Waddle. And Jaylen Waddle, not as much variance here, but, get a FanDuel alternate receiving yards, minus 128. 59 and a half. You can go up to 60 and a half here and take the better odds at PointsBet, DraftKings, or Caesars at minus 115. And Jaylen Waddle, Devontae Parker's on IR. Will Fuller, we don't know where the hell he's been. It's really Waddle, Gesicki, and Gaskin in terms of the offensive playmakers, if we can call them that. And Jaylen Waddle, whether it's Brissett or Tua under center, he's gone over 60 yards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times this season, but 3 times in this past 4 games. He's also gone over his reception totals, 5.5. Let's pull that up real quick. He's also gone over 5.5 receptions in 3 out of his past 4 games, getting targeted a ton. And I like the over on Waddle's receiving or receptions as well. Might as well take a look at that. My favorite, Control F. Let's look at receptions. And let's go down to Mr. Jaylen Waddle. Over 5.5. Minus 105 at DraftKings. It was an EV bet earlier in the day. It was plus 105 at Caesars, but that obviously got straightened out fairly quickly. Let's give you one more before I wrap up. Let's check the Plus EV page. This is updated in real time, so things can come and go quickly. Let's take one more look here. I think I passed it. We talked about Ahmed. We talked about Brown. We're going to talk about Devonta Freeman, but not these EV bets on Devonta Freeman. I like Devonta Freeman's anytime touchdown scorer odds. Devonta Freeman has scored 3 times in his past 2 games. Latavius Murray doubtful, probably not going to play with the ankle. And Baltimore wants to run the football. They're going to take a couple of shots with Devonta inside the 5-yard line. He caught one recently. So again, 3 touchdowns in his past 2 games. We can go to player touchdowns. Where are we? Let's find it again. Let's look here. Total touchdowns, player. Having a hard time finding this. I found it earlier. The best odds for Devonta Freeman that I have found to score an anytime touchdown is at Borgata BetMGM Sportsbook. And it is currently at plus 225. Maybe they're not counting out Murray yet because at FanDuel and DraftKings is closer to plus 150 in that range. Go to Borgata BetMGM. It's at plus 225 right now. I just took it before I got on the show on the Devonta Freeman anytime touchdown scoring prop. But that's going to do it. We're going to wrap up right now. My name is Anthony Servino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the alert icon so you can be notified anytime OddsJam drops new content. Good luck tonight in all of your sports betting endeavors. We'll see you later.